like this movie definitely knows who their audience is for sure. Like I thought one of the funniest like shots almost like, I mean, we get of course like all these nudie shots that are like ridiculous and like unnecessary, but like the most ridiculous one is the shower scene. It's literally like them talking and we're not seeing the lips move. The camera pans down, or not pans down, but tilts down to like our main character like soaping her butt and stuff. I'm just like, that was like the most unnecessary thing ever. Drive-by movies here with another episode of Direct to Dumpster. My name is James.
My name is Blaze.
And this week we checked out the 1982 classic Slumber Party Massacre, directed by Amy Jones. Well, classic? Yes, because everyone has seen this movie at Blockbuster, right?
It's definitely a classic poster.
Yeah.
It's got that classic vibe going with, you know, is it like a parody? Is it not? And I'll just open up with one of the fun facts about this movie was that the writer, Rita Mae Brown, actually had, you know, written this script called Sleepless Nights, which becomes Slumber Party Massacre. But it was originally a parody of a lot of the slasher and slumber party type drive-in movies at the time. But then in the production of the film, they actually make just the not parody version. There's a lot of fun comedy in the movie, but it's not really a parody.
Yeah. I'd say it's definitely more of a comedy horror film. It's not taking itself seriously. I wouldn't say, it's like a scary movie parody, but it's definitely like self-aware, like in the vein of like You're Next, I'd say, or something like that. Well, maybe not as hardcore as You're Next, but
it's got vibes of the parody there.
Yeah. It knows what it's doing. Scream, I guess, is a better example, but I mean, this is a fun time, and it's weird like how this poster was kind of engraved in a lot of people's memories. I mean, I said Blockbuster. A lot of people haven't seen or been to a Blockbuster maybe, but I just feel like it's pretty common though. If like you think a Texas Chainsaw Massacre for whatever reason, for me, I always envision the poster for this film. I mean, it's a pretty iconic shot. And it's funny because a fun fact about the poster is only one actress from the movies actually in that poster. The rest are just models that came out for that poster itself. Yeah.
So the poster, I'm assuming, was made before the movie to kind of sell the movie?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I didn't look at that into it, but I would not be surprised because that's how, I mean, Terror Vision, the movie that we saw few episodes back, poster was made before the movie itself,
and that was a Full Moon type picture. I think it had some backing from Full Moon and Charles Band. This is actually Roger Corman production.
Right. And it feels that way too. It definitely knows what it like. This movie definitely knows who their audience is for sure. Like I thought one of the funniest like shots almost like, I mean, we get of course like all these nudie shots that are like ridiculous and like unnecessary, but like the most ridiculous one is the shower scene. It's literally like them talking and we're not seeing the lips move. The camera pans down, or not pans down, but tilts down to like our main character like soaping her butt and stuff. I'm just like, that was like the most unnecessary thing ever, but it was kind of hilarious. It reminded me of like, I don't know if anyone's seen the uncut version or the uncensored version of Sex Drive, but like during any nudity scene, it's like magnified into like any nudity scene, like on purpose and stuff.
Yeah, it definitely it has the vibe of the male gaze being as a cinematographer. You know, really into a lot of these scenes because he's moving the camera in weird ways. But actually, the director is a female, so that was at least refreshing to see. It's like, okay, this isn't just totally a horn dog production.
Yeah. They're having fun with this movie for sure. And another fun fact about this movie that I just couldn't get past, like Amy Jones had the opportunity to edit E.T., one of the biggest blockbuster hits of all time. But she wanted to make her first film, and good for her. Slumber Party Massacre, while like might not be the number one like like cult horror film, it's a movie that I feel like a lot of people know about, but just nobody brings it up with the others and stuff, I'd say. It doesn't have like even like the cult status of Sleepaway Camp, I feel like, but it should be up there where it should be playing at midnight shows. And I'm sure there are still some, but where are they?
So the plot of this movie revolves around an 18-year-old high school girl who's left at home by her parents, and she decides to have a slumber party. There's a friction between some of the invited guests and the new girl, who is better at basketball than they are. So the new girl decides to stay at home. Meanwhile, a murder of 5 people with a propensity for power tools has escaped and is at large, and eventually makes his way to the party, where the guests begin experiencing an attrition problem with only the new girl to help them. So that's the essential plot.
Right.
But you know, there are fun little things here and there, especially throughout the movie. The power tool that this guy uses, this massive drill.
Yeah.
It's totally unrealistic at the time. I'll be out there to say it first. You know, this thing is battery powered, being that there's no cable, but it just revolves so slowly because it's battery powered. It wouldn't actually be able to pierce. Yeah. And like it wouldn't be sharp enough to actually hurt anyone, really.
Right. Yeah. There's a couple times also where he does drill people, obviously, but then like, how do you slash people with the drill? So, cause like he'll like hit someone across the face. Like, yeah, of course that's going to hurt and cut them, but I don't think it's going to kill them and stuff. And that happens like 2 or 3 people. Where like just the side of it slashes someone's stomach, and then one of the girls also gets hit in the face with it, but it's the side of it that would definitely cut them, but it's not going to kill them, I'd say. Yeah. I don't know though. You can prove me wrong in the comments, but I just felt like that was a little ridiculous at times.
In case we have any blood splatter specialists out there, but like I think back then when you made a slasher movie, there had to be something iconic about it. The drill is obviously very iconic in this movie, like it's an iconic weapon for a killer to use. I don't think it's, used the best in this movie, but I do think that one of the things that brought this movie down from being remembered as like such a classic is the killer. I think you're seeing his face the whole time. It looks like I thought it was Fred Armisen. You thought it was Chris Messina.
Yeah, like let us know in the comments, who does this killer look like to you? I vote Chris Messina. It's him for sure.
I think it also looks like Killer Bob, right?
Killer Bob from
Twin Peaks.
Oh, well, I know the long hair for Killer Bob. Like,
okay, if you shaved his head, it just got a similar. The two guys have a similar look. So the killer is played by Michael Valella, and he is, he's hugely in this movie because he's one of those killers that's unmasked the whole movie. The camera doesn't shy away from showing his face.
At first it does though. Actually, it's only like very like weird angle shots where you can only see half his face or through a mirror, and then out of nowhere it just full blown shows his face.
I mean, I feel like he's inspired by some of these serial killers. I thought his portrayal of like a serial killer is done really well. He's creepy when he does have lines in the movie. There are terrifying things that he says.
Oh yeah, they were creeper status. Like, well, beyond that, actually, there's creeper that are just like weird out on the streets, but no, like
it's terrifying. Yeah. But I mean, I think he does a great portrayal. I think the problem that I have is really the using his face so much in the film is he's not like really scary looking. His portrayal, his acting is scary, but like him, he just like
the actresses are taller than him also. And I'm not scared of anyone wearing a denim jacket also. Like wearing a
Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah, it's Canadian tuxedo. Film. Yeah.
Because he's wearing jeans too.
Yeah.
He just has a red shirt. He's got kind of
cowboy boots too. He's literally Killer Bob actually, outfit wise at least. You're right. Yeah.
That's what I was saying, because Killer Bob wears the Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah.
I think it's all inspired by like Richard Ramirez because I feel like that's something that he would have worn as like a killer.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just feel like that's kind of where they're taking notes from this movie.
Right.
I don't know the exact time frame there, but
I mean, we saw inspirations of Halloween at least though, with some of the shots, and then the music, of course, the stalking and being creeper
for sure,
like watching from a distance and stuff.
And those actually, I think, played out pretty well. That's when the movie was at its best, towards the beginning, where they're not really showing this killer's, face at all.
For me, even though it's a 76-minute movie, it felt long in the middle, I thought, where it's like we're waiting for the massacring to start. Like the slumber party, like, oh, everything's fun and stuff. Like, oh, let's all talk about boys. That stuff was pretty dull and boring. And just like, we know what we're getting out of this movie. Let's get to it. I don't need any development and stuff. Like we saw a cool bond between the two sisters that are the neighbors next door, but like felt unnecessary. I felt like
I didn't mind their stuff. I think we needed like some other kind of B story or C story in there to like propel the plot forward. You have a couple, but they end like are snubbed out so soon that like you're just like, oh, okay.
And the two creeper guys that are spying on them, trying to scare them, like I would have liked to have seen something a lot more fun with them. And like, they're like the killer kind of plays with them, like playing with their food essentially. But like it could have been a little bit more satisfying. But overall, I'd say it was a satisfying movie. It's a fun watch.
Definitely. I'd recommend this movie if you like those slasher type movies. This one seems like it's at least a little bit knowledgeable that it's a parody, and then sometimes it's not, and it doesn't play off the best, but at the end of the day, it is like, it's a pretty decent movie for this genre. Like, I mean, I can't, now that we're like gone from that era, like there were probably a ton of stupid slumber party movies. But now that you're gone from the era, this is kind of the only one that stands that you remember. All right, it's in the title, Slumber Party Massacre.
Right.
So go check out this one if you're looking for something of that kin.
And that's going to conclude this week's episode. Thanks so much, guys, for the support. Be sure to check out Slumber Party Massacre on Shudder, or you can check out the Amazon affiliate link in the description box below. That helps us out too.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of Slumber Party Massacre, guys, and smash that like button. And as always, the best way to get our content delivered straight to you is by clicking that subscription button and the notification bell.
That's going to do it for Drive By Movies this week. Be sure to check out Direct to Dumpster next week, and we'll see you then.